quarry plot. The last one we're going to visit today is it's actually going to be a retour. It's probably one of the more memorable ones that we visited last year, and among my favorites overall. But I thought it would be a nice one to end this year on. It's called One Night in Winter. It's Moana Surfrider. It's actually Maddie's alt, I believe. And again, you can see how they chose to box this in with stone, just to kind of create like a little surprise way. And Maddie's known for kind of changing your perspective as to how you're introduced to the plot. So rather than just bringing you out through the opening and the plot's there, you actually have to go up a lot to get to it. Maddie's not the only one that does this kind of thing. There's several others that like to change the elevation quite a bit. You either start at the bottom and you go up and then you come back down, or you start up and then you go down and then you come back up. But it's clever building, and I envy it because I don't have the brain to figure that stuff out. But as you come out of the tunnel, you can see there's a nice big waterfall above, lots of stones. It's actually the little cave thing. I think it's the Pumera cave. I don't know what it's called. Being used as the entrance. For that centerpiece, it was one of those, I think it's a couple of them actually, the gate posts, the Winterfest gate posts, and of course the path itself was mostly hover park pieces. Now, if I missed anything, again, we toured this last year, so you could probably catch a lot of it from last year, a lot of the description of items that were used and things. We're not going to go over it too terribly much. I'm going to probably mention things off and on. But this is more just an extra appreciation for the work that Maddie put in on the plot. So you can see there's a stone pathway that leads into the little sleepy village. You can see there's a really large frozen mountain here with a little bit going on over here. We also have a little bit of I think it's a frozen lake on this side. And then off to the back there is, I believe it's a church. So let's visit the frozen lake first. You see that they actually use the frozen water and then put water underneath to give it a little bit of motion. This would be a great idea for someone that's wanting to put up some ice fishing. You already have the holes cut out, and then you can just put your little pole in and make your little ice fishing setup there. Lots of snow-covered rocks, adding snow clumps on certain things to make it look snow-covered, like the roofs of all of the village shops and buildings. Snow-covered bushes and trees. I think that one's the snow-covered fern that you get from Arcterra, for example. Yeah, it does, kind of, boy. It'd be great if we could actually get some functional, like, elevator pads or something. I think it would really bring a lot to some of the builds that we have around. But this one is the Lop. The Snow Lops, I guess is what the name of it is. And they've just capped it with like a bowl and a soda cup to give it different hats. And then this is one of the snowballs, so it's like they're in the process of building some more. Over here is the church. Can't actually go in it, but I love the concept of the building itself. It's gray stones for the archway here. Some of those rusty ornate gates for the portcullis here. And you can see like there's some statues in one of those uh, justice windows, same way here. It's mostly Draken floors and then Draken pillars for the building itself. Now, this was one of the plots that we used as a good example of faux buildings working to your advantage. You know, a lot of times when people are building their custom homes above ground, they also have to worry about the landscaping, which you can see clearly. Maddie did a great job on. But that cuts into the amount of detail you can put inside the homes. So you not only have to construct the homes or the buildings, but then you have to furnish them inside, and then you have to worry about all the landscaping that's going on. So that's a lot of pieces, and that 2,500 gets eaten up really, really fast. So faux structures are a typical way for builders to kind of fill up a plot on the outside with, you know, buildings and such, and make it look lively, while at the same time reserving a lot of the decor that they might have to use to fill up the interior of those for other details. One nice thing about this one in particular, though, is we get little sneak peeks of the interiors. So there's some detail inside, and it gives hints that there's additional going on, but it's done in such a way that it's still freed up a lot of space for other design elements that they wanted to make sure and include. So you have like this little voyeuristic peek into this home with their little holiday tree, their fireplace. You can see there's another door. Some curtains are closed, some are open. But it just gives an idea that there's more, you know, there's actually something going on. Like using the metal dividers for like lit up windows. Makes it look like there's someone there. Let's go around the edges here. You can see the different materials. You've got like granite walls. You've got Oran pillars. There's the Draken fireplace. Looks like the back of a tombstone with the top of one of the vases for the handle here. You've got lots of hover park pieces, Oran walls. It just brings out a lot of different textures. Keeps them somewhat uniform, but gives them their own character. I mean, this is like the ornate pillars, I think, or Gothic pillars, and then the rusty fences, Draken floors. Here we have Oran pillars, and looks like maybe exile walls, I think. Faux door, like I don't know what's being used for the handle there. It's one of the vases, I think. The big tree, big red tree. Again, a lot of those dividers for the windows, but now that we have the ProtoStar windows, those could be used. But this gives it kind of a uniform coloring of the lighting. But notice how sometimes they only show pieces of it, other times they show a different arrangement, so it looks different, but it's still similar. Of course, on this side, we get a glimpse at the bridge. It's just made out of those same gray stones that the pathways were made out of. Nice arches. And then here you get the water mill. Just hover park pieces, waterfalls. We saw one not long ago with, I think it was the windmill animated part, the blades, making it look like it's spinning. Draken fencing for the bottom of this building here. For these windows here, it's the orange window surrounded by, I think it's the tiki bar, to make it almost like a porthole window. And then you come into the center square, and this is where, again, I'm saying you don't have access to the buildings themselves. I mean, this is a faux door here, made with a back of a portrait. The handle is like from the ornate cabinet chest thing, and then the tree tables is not only for the decoration of this and the little platforms here, but also the stairs. But you get a glimpse of it by this little display window. So it gives you an idea of, you know, the the theme of that particular building. So this is apparently, you know, the garden shop, where you can get your plants. Excuse me. This is an example of how we used to use the balloons as berries for the greenery, like the garlands and stuff. But you can see how it's kind of ruined with the wind. It's frustrating that that changed like it did, but it's a shame. But I'm sure if Maddie wanted to go back, they could switch it out with something that's less mobile than the balloons. This here is the colorful window, and they've just kind of boxed it in where you just see a part of it. Here you have the butcher shop. So you've got all of the different meats on display. And then again, it's just a faux door. It's like a blue book with, I think it's one of the Draken pots thing being used as the handle. Again, it gives you an idea what it's for. All right, Aurora, you have a good night. But it hints at what's in there, but you know, you can't get in. So it's like kind of a teaser, but nicely done. I like the display windows, and it's a different approach for each one, like this one here. Again, this is the bakery, and notice it's the one that's attached to the little mill wheel back there. Again, those tiki bars, and then look at the loaves of bread. This is what inspired my bakery shop. Having the different loaves, it's just multiple pieces of toast, and then this is like sandbags or something for these little buns. I think it's vintage beer mugs for the handles here with one of those portrait backs. Over here is the little night store. Cellar entrance for some of this bricking. A lot of hover part pieces. The little faux door back there is one of the dividers. I think it's upside down, actually. All right, Aurora. Thanks. Over here, you have like a school classroom kind of thing going on. You see the desks, the teacher's desk here, and the blackboard over there with the little coat rack for the students. Again, faux door. I think it's a metal crate being used for the handles here. This one is the clothing shop. Just using some mannequins in different outfits and stuff. The door here, I think, is a garage-themed coffee table with one of the metal dividers inserted in there. With this, oh, scared the crud out of me. The stairs and the awning for it as the orange shelves. I'm not going to go answer it. Scared the crud out of me. My heart's racing now. The town hall is accented with the Gothic pillars. Notice the clock. I don't remember what's being used as the clock itself, aside from the Merg dynamite and the heart lamp. I think it's one of the spaceship lights, but I can't really remember for sure. Again, another faux door. It's I have no idea what that is. Could be who knows what. It looks like some of the Galeris walls or like some of this decoration, and I suspect maybe the staircase here. And then of course you have the little pub that you can actually go inside. Again, the little coat rack, that's just one of those exile shelves. It's tucked in, so it's got the little bit. Again, lots of hover part pieces, domes for the tables, a little bit of Winterfest fencing for accents. The Orin table, the tree table, is inset to make it look like a tablecloth kind of thing. The fireplace is one of those bell stoves, and just kind of inset, make it look like, you know, there's a little bit of a seating bench and then curved glass to cover it. The bar here is just a couple of filled bars and just hidden, so you just see the shelves. The sink is, I think it's actually a kitchen sink, but it's sunk down, so you just see the faucet part, and then they put a bowl. And like the register area, these are magnetized containers. These are the bottoms of the locked exile chests, I think. And then this one here is a airtight container, I believe. There's the hint that there's an upstairs, but again, they're using just a portrait, back of a portrait, and then I think it's the side of the big red pot for the handle there. And then you got the bathroom. The doors are the wooden dividers. Windows for the mirrors. And of course, this leads out to the balcony here, which they have shut off, or the patio, or whatever you want to call it. And of course, you have the centerpiece being the holiday tree, which has just got those flaming habanero bloom thingies, the blue ones, with a little buoyant blue crystal for the topper, a little snowy hill just to cover up the base. Thank you for the host, Cal. I appreciate it. Okay, so that's most of the town, the little village here. So we're going to go across and give you a little bit, another view of, that's where the entrance is, where we come out with the waterfall above us. There's the town, the little village, and the church. So you come across, again, it's mostly just the gray stone. you can see how some of the snow is like really bright, like super bright white. And you just follow the path. And up, up, up we go. So we get to this little outcropping. And again, here's another awesome shot of the little village. Again, even though there's probably no lighting whatsoever, I mean, you can see there's a little bit, but it just looks like the windows are lit up because of those metal dividers. They have that bright white look to them. You can get that with layered glass, but it'll cost you. This is much more efficient. I wish we had more windows like that. The metal dividers have that effect, and now those new WildStar windows have it. It's just that the WildStar ones are kind of orange in color. So I guess it really depends on the look that you're going for. So here we come upon Maddie's version of the holiday sleigh. See if I can get a good shot of all of the most of the holiday plots we've come across and that I've seen from like NA side and everything. They tend to use the WildStars as those that would pull the sleigh, but Maddie chose to use the little vents. I think it was a smart choice because obviously the vents, they puff up and they float, so it makes sense that they would lead a flying sleigh. You can see that the harnesses are basically just hanging cables and then chains to link them all up. The sleigh itself is hover part pieces and cylinders, a little bit of Oran walls, just to kind of give it a little bit of closure on that part. A Giggle Me Gaffo at the lead with this little mythical creature hat, and then a big bag of toys. This little building itself is kind of got that similar feel as the town buildings. Got the same kind of like a quaint little village thing. It's Dominion, not Dominion, Draken fences for the little windmill part here, and then the bottoms, and then not exile, Oran floors for the top, accented with granite pillars. And you come up inside and it looks like it's just a regular little grain mill or something. And then if you kind of wind your way down, now don't do like I did the first time I came to visit. I actually fell down this hole and fell to my death. It's a really long drop, so be careful and make sure you follow the path. But as you wind your way down, you see that there's a pulley system, and there's little buckets that have little bags of toys coming up, and you will see why shortly. But this is what I mean. In the beginning, you go all the way up, and now we're going all the way back down. So we're coming back down to the actual ground level. So you'll see here, you got a little protostar guy. He's loading up the next one with the bag of goodies. You see just how high that is. It's a very long fall. Winterfest gates, I believe, just hidden so that you just see the little decoration there. Here's another little protostar guy with his wagon with a toy. Seems like it'd take a long time if it's toy by toy, but there you go. And then we come upon this little cave area. Again, it's mostly the purple rock arches, I believe. And then just different little bits like 2x4s, I think, and then Oran windows to make it look like these little huts or houses. Like this one is the leaf windows for the windows, and then the bug window inset in there to make it look like the door with like a file for the handle. And like this one has a porthole window for its door, and this one's got another window covered by like a round wooden table with a blue file for its little door. So it makes it like look little protostar houses. Here's one, he's got his laundry hanging out. Again, it's just an assortment of windows. And if you go down here, you'll find a bigger one. And this is actually the haunted house fab kit that they've led you to. It's behind a, they had to leave a piece of it showing, otherwise the little thingamabob won't show up. If you completely cover it, it just disappears and you won't have access to it. But this is the inside of one of those homes. The others are faux, but this one you can actually go inside. So again, you start off on like a little upper part. We've got, I forget what they're using for the trim. I want to say it's one of the dressers that's got that trim on it. Posters lining the walls. And then hover part pieces to make these lovely little archways. So if we go straight across, that leads us into the bedroom area. So you have a little bit of a view of the downstairs through this ivy bit. It's just a bunch of the trellises lined up. The little carpet here is basically the Heart Collection coffee table. You just push it down so you just see the blue, I call it the blue butterfly. And then it looks like they've taken one of the golden portraits and then pushed in some, I assume it's the folded shirts to make it match the color of the carpet underneath. And then the base is, looks like the bottom of the fancy Dominion dresser to make it match the couch a little better. Over here you have the clothing, like the wardrobe. It's the gear trophies, 2x4s and Hugel portraits for the handles. And then you have the bed, 2x4s. I think these are backpacks, the underside, and then sleeping bags with accents of like the Oran gate, Oran windows and pillars, dressers. Again, using that, I want to say it's either a dresser or maybe one of the portraits that has that trim, like the tree one has that trim, and they're using that all the way around with, I think it's gear trophies for the white. Then you go down the stairs, which is looks like just 2x4s lined with hover part pieces, and you come into this really fancy living space. The pattern on the wall is made from the Winterfest fences, and then they've just used the openings as where they would put all of the pictures. The carpet is again the same that they use upstairs. It's that heart table, just sunk down so you just see the blue butterfly part. The table itself is Draken statues being used as the base, and then just layered glass. Exile tubes and cylinders for the couch with a little bit of green pillow for the cushion. Gothic pillars for the fireplace. Looks like the balloons are kind of pretty steady in here on the interior of this particular building. So they work good for the berries along the garland here. Yeah, me too, boy. We've got some custom cabinets. It's basically domes, curved walls, uh, curved glass, and then hover part pieces for the shelves. I think it's the edge piece, the one that you can kind of make a table if you put all four of them together. It could be something else, but I think it's that. Then you have the kitchen area. You've got the nautical chairs. These are the nautical chairs as well along the bottom. And then the big one, I think, is the sofa. And they just use it to line up, make it like one large cushioned seat. The table is hover part pieces with exile rugs for the table runner. The lamps here, those are those fancy hanging lamps, the green ones. And then the basket is from, I think it's one of the keyhole windows that has the flowerless baskets. Make it look like sconces for those lamps. The patterned wall and the cabinet doors, those are all the, I think it's the Humble Winterfest gifts. It's just the box one. And then the tops of this, I think, is the gear trophy again. Water trough with the sink, actually using the faucet of the sink. The stove is the blue light lounge table. I think it's Drake and Cauldrons for the handles here. This is the fridge is the ship hand locker with, I think it's the propane tanks. The tops of those have that little bar. I think that's what's being used for the handles there. Of course, this part here is one of the actual stoves, and it's just inset. It's much easier than having to design your own stovetop there. Of course, these are trimmed with, it looks like metal edge 2x4s. It could be staircase landings too that you could use, but maybe they didn't match up exactly with the shape of the gift. But the way the gear joins up in the corners works out really nice for this little tiled pattern here. This part here, I think, is staircases. And this door here leads to the bathroom. So you have like the little tub. Again, lots of hover part pieces, domes. I think that's a Red Moon vent. The fountain here is that, I don't know, some kind of a horn. I don't know if it's Drakenhorn or Falcon. It's one of the two. And then these are the tops of, well, this thing here. This file is bigger, and you just see the handles. Okay, let me try and get out of there. Some of those space chase pieces, the lighted vent thing. 2x4s for the little divider here. I love the toilet. It's one of the tree tables for the lid, hover part pieces for the rim, and then domes and cylinders for the bowl. The little toilet paper dispenser, I think that's the handle of the firewood basket. Chew a cup for that one. For the sink area, it looks to be the metal bowls, curved walls or cylinders doubled up so that it looks like two doors, and then files for the handles. I don't know what they're using for the actual mirror part, but this looks like one of the windows, probably the orange one, and they've just covered up the orange with some other piece. For the faucets, I think that's the clunky fire extinguisher. I think it has like a straight pointed little nozzle at the end of the one part, and I think that's what's being used there. And then looks like the tops of some of the wine bottles for the handles on that. So that's the interior of the haunted house fab kit. That's why you have this bit of a haze. So like if you're standing on one end, it looks hazier over here until you walk into it, and then it brightens up. That's just due to the lighting that is actually in the house itself. You can't change those settings. I don't even think you can change the music and that kind of thing. So that's why when you change it up to a different theme other than Shades Eve, you have to really add a lot of lighting, and sometimes that can backfire because like I had trouble with some of my lit up stuff being kind of too bright, almost blinding. Okay, the last place on this one is in connection with the gifts. So you see this little contraption here. It's actually one of those vent thingies from Winterfest. I think it's actually, they've got it upside down, so you just see the little shooter tubes. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a speaker thing and they talk out of this, but Maddie's using it as a little contraption that shoots out the gifts, and that in turn is picked up by the little Protostar guys, and they trek it over to the little trolley over there. So you go down into the bunker house, which is actually the workshop. So you can see that they've got, I think it's either the exile gun or maybe it's the back of the Flush-O-Matic 5000 or whatever, but it's a couple of portable planters to make it look like you're zoning in here. And then all of the white that you see, I think it's gear trophies. But then you come into this colorful little toy shop, much more elaborate than the one I attempted way back when. But you've got the little package train. I think, I want to say Bucky assisted on some of the toy train bits, but it's like some of the space ship parts for not only this part here that looks like a microphone, but also the little lighted wheels, hover part pieces for most of the cars, and main parts of the train itself. Some of the gate posts. This here is a couple of the Winterfest emblems. And of course you got all the different little toys and stuff. Here you have the little gift wrapping area where they have like little bits of ribbons and toppers and wrapping paper, as if they're preparing to wrap it, and then they're going to pack it up into the box and then ship it out. The tracks themselves are, I think, metal planks and 2x4s. Here's another one. It's a clever use of the cardboard boxes. There's a closed one that's making this part look like it's flat, and then the open one to give the flaps and makes it look like you box it up. So once it's packaged and wrapped, then it goes into the machine and then goes up into the little tubey thing, and then it spits it out above ground. So on this side, we go up, we have the little bathroom area. Again, Oran pillars. I think that's the big red potted plant just being used for the handle. Again, one of the Winterfest emblems, and then I think it's one of the flat metal tables for the door itself. The little towel rack, I want to say, is from the body scanner. Can't be for positive on that. The faucets, I believe, are the garden hoses. We come across here, we'll find the pillow station and the little dollhouse station. So the pillow station, they have their little, I can't get my camera to sit still, their version of a sewing machine. It's the humidifier, I think it is. A couple of the Winterfest emblems. There's, I want to say it was an icicle or something for the needle, and then a pillow pushed down to make it look like they're sewing some fabric together. Here they've got a couple of knives stuck together to make them look like shears. They're using the top of the Orin tent as a pincushion. I think that's what it's supposed to be. And then, of course, you got an arrangement of pillows there. Here for the doll houses, they even have a little doll here. But they got several different houses built together. Mushrooms, Orin windows, looks like a gravestone here for the door. The tops of the ornate Orin pillars to make it look like little trees. This here looks like one of the keyhole windows. Triangle pieces for the roof. For the dolly, it's purple pillows, a grass suite, little bow, and it's on top of one of those effigy dolls. And then, of course, you see all of the little craftsman's tools. He's got his hammers, little paintbrush, some stuffing, and little various parts. On to the next station, we have Orin-themed toys and gifts. You've got the Hugels statues. You've got some gondolas, clocks, and dressers. So you see here, this is supposed to be a progression of them carving out the Hugel from a block of stone. So they have it, you know, it's just started halfway and then they've got it complete. Mops for all of the brushes and things. The top of one of those, I think it's one of the lamps or a fence post or something for his hat. Here again, you got an arrangement of tools. He's got a couple of cleavers to make it look like one of those saws, and the top of a dresser to make it look like a plank of wood. I'm not sure what he's using for the little bolts there. This one is the book station where they're making books. Again, a fun way to use the travel posters is as book covers, so just stick them right on top of the books. So this one, he's pressing his pages together in a book press. It's like the top of the exile bed, I think, with one of those giant gears, and it looks like some sparking wires for the little connector bits, with hover part pieces layered up to look like the little press bit. You've got the little printing machine here. I forget what this thing is called, but I don't know, it's like the fish collector, I think. And so they're printing the pages, the covers for the books. Over here you have the toy train station. Again, different tools for him. All the little parts that he might need, and then the little toy trains all assembled. It's just the locked exile chests, beer cans, soda cups, files for the wheels, and then a hanging chain to connect them all. There's a little, kind of hard to get to and see, but there's a little chemistry kit here. It's just little boxed in with glass and travel posters. And then it's an alchemy book set with one of those eyes in a jar. So that's their little chemistry set. Notice the leaves here for some of the decoration. Those are from the orange chairs. Here we come to the snow globe station. So you have a little machine popping out the snow. He's got a little scooper that he can put it in. Little snow arrangement for them to put together the little snow clones, all the little pieces. Lots of hover park pieces, 2x4s for most of the shelving in each little area. Here's another sewing machine, but this one's being used for plushies. So again, you see how they've got like parts. They're using an icicle for this part, and then for the plushie parts, they're using the whole plushie, but they just sunk it down so you only see individual pieces. There's another one, like the head and the foot. This one is for the spaceships. So using the Shades Eve candy bowls for different pots of paint, and using the bronze ones as the unpainted versions, and then the painted versions being on display over there. Fun use for, all of those models and stuff that you see. Notice they do have a little model plane up here. It's windows, a file for the little cabin area, and beer cans with swords as the blade. And then the tip is just the sprocket here. And over here is the employee lounge where they can get some snacks, take a break. Those are the tops of the Orin dresser table thing, I think, with bottle handles. I want to say this was the bottom of these gate posts. I think it's the bottom of this. And that's being used for the top of that table. And of course, the last place is the little station where they track everything. They've got all of the letters from the kiddos with their wish lists. The letters themselves are the sides of the humble gift packages. It's the same thing that they use for the kitchen tiles. They're just using the side of it instead. So it looks like a little envelope. They got their little lists, lots of mailboxes to receive all these letters from the kiddies. These here that look like little thin manila envelope packages. It's just cardboard boxes sunk down so you just see the edges of them. The map itself is frozen lakes. I think some of them are turned different ways to make it light up different. And some of the, I think it's Winterfest tree shelves to get these little markers. Don't know what they're using for the red and green blinky. Looks like triangle pieces or walls or floors for the little symbol there. But all nice and covered. It's a lot of detail. This is an interior I can imagine them using all of their 2500 really easily. There's a lot of detail in this. So that is that. I think that will be all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed these winter themed homes. We will probably be visiting another batch next week, but again, those will be specifically NA side. It will be our first time going over to NA side to do some touring. The ones that I've picked up for next week are actually coming from the list of participants for their Winterfest House Stravaganza competition that they're hosting via Black Dagger Society. So I'm kind of cheating in that respect, but afterwards I'm just going to be randomly visiting. And if I come across your plot, I'll be adding it to the queue, and as that queue grows, it may be a while before I get to your place, but I guarantee if it's an interesting plot, has an interesting theme, we have a lot of custom built going on it, it's definitely going to be something we'll be interested in and we will take a closer look at. In the meantime, fair warning, I'm planning to stream tomorrow, but it probably will depend heavily on how the doctor visit goes this afternoon as to whether or not I do so. So I may not. I will tweet either way to let you guys know if I'm planning to stream tomorrow, but we will be here Friday because Friday is, of course, our December CBDC showcase. We've got, I think last I checked, 14 participants. So if it stays at that, I don't know why that thing's, my monitor's about ready to shut off. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we're having the showcase on Friday. If you haven't gotten me the information yet, be sure and do that before Friday, because if it's not on my list, it won't be included in the showcase. But like I said, we got 14 participants. Some of them have multiple projects, so it's going to be a long one, so prepare yourselves. I'm planning to try and do it all in one go, however long it takes us to get through them. So it could be a couple hours, it could be more than that. But I hope you enjoyed today's stream, and oh gosh, why is my silly monitor decided to shut off? I'm gonna have to switch that. Anyway, yeah. Well, hey Pringles, I'm glad you could join. As far as what race, really, that's entirely up to you. There's no, I don't think there's any big advantage or disadvantage to whatever race you want to play. With the cross-faction grouping and stuff, it's not a problem anymore if people feel like there's more exiles than Dominion or vice versa. So if you want to go with a particular faction, that's not an issue anymore for grouping and stuff. So it's really just up to you, up to personal preference. If you go to the main website, they have a good write-up of all of the races, their background stories. So if you're going into it for like role play or whatever, then you can kind of get a better feel for what you might want to try out. I think it becomes a little bit trickier when you're trying to choose class because you really won't know until you get into it and try them out yourself as to what maybe suits you best. I'm sure there's some write-ups as to what classes might be similar to classes you might have played in other games. Like I played Rogue in World of Warcraft, so Stalker in WildStar seemed a good fit for me, but for others it might be different. So, but yeah, it really shouldn't pose a problem. I think in the past there was issues about population imbalances as as far as like grouping concerns were. But now that we have a lot of cross-faction stuff going on, that shouldn't be an issue. So just pick whatever one you want. You want to go around as a furball, blowing up things, and go chew it. And if you want to go as a regular person and choose either Cassian or human or whatever. So yeah, it is very similar. I mean, it's going to be different, obviously, but you know, if you're used to that kind of gameplay, you'll probably have an easier time adjusting if you want to give it a try. But I would say just try them all if you can. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you all for joining. I hope you had fun. I hope you got some ideas. You know, not if you know, even if not for now, maybe for next year when Winterfest rolls around again. I don't know exactly what holiday might be coming up next. I presume Valentine's Day, so maybe they'll be bringing out the Valentine's decor, not this next month, but in February. But yeah, we'll see what the new year unrolls. They've kind of hinted that we've got some new stuff coming our way, so hopefully we'll start getting some announcements about that. Just another reminder before we close that there is maintenance going to be hitting in a little while. It's going to be landing around 4 a.m. PDT, 1 p.m. CET. I guess I stayed still too long. We'll just leave it there. 1 p.m. CET time. It's only going to last about 35 minutes, so it shouldn't be too long that it's down. So if you have a problem trying to log in, that might be why. Hope everyone had fun. I hope to see you tomorrow, but if not, definitely join us on Friday for the CBDC showcase. In the meantime, good luck with your projects. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.